I'd like to turn over to higher group. This is getting a very interesting point in that higher was almost out of business not that long ago, but one very strong, charismatic, visionary leader saw a way to change the whole company culture and approach. And that was building it around micro enterprises that were very entrepreneurial, in which case it is a true network. Even the staff functions are internal entrepreneurial networks. That takes to the extent that there's internal contracting between different parts of the organization, such that every micro enterprise is really customer facing, such that one manufacturing unit may then feed another manufacturing unit, which may then feed sales, which is outside external customer. But each of those manufacturing relationships or the manufacturing to sales relationship has a contract for delivery, same as if they were independent companies. Similarly, staff functions such as HR and IT are also structured as independent enterprises within the umbrella of the higher group. They also have service delivery contracts with other parts of the organization. What is very interesting here is that those contracts give a relationship, but individual customers within that don't necessarily have to buy internally, such that if a manufacturing microenterprise is facing dissatisfaction with an IT microenterprise and are not getting satisfactory response, they have an opportunity to actually go outside sourcing. And in some cases, internal microenterprises have gone out of business because they failed to satisfy their internal customers. Also, in some cases, a group that is dissatisfied with an internal microenterprise, they can actually charter a new microenterprise to start in competition with the first. So you've got a true, really competitive environment working within the groups, but at the same time, they have a beneficial relationship and a way of operating together. One of the ways that they operate together very well is that there's actually benefit sharing to the employees. The employees of a microenterprise are truly treated as owners of that microenterprise, and to the extent that there is superior results, not just average or target results, but superior results, some of that extra value is provided back to the employees. There's also very interesting, a desire that's very entrepreneurial also of open innovation. There is partnering to extend the capabilities within the organization, in which case each microenterprise, while it is working within the means available to it, it is encouraged to reach not only within the higher group for partners, but also outside. And much of the innovation comes with outside enterprises in a partnering with a contract that allows them to basically buy into the partner or buy into the partnership more if there were success. So it's an interesting way of doing away totally with not invented here thinking and looking for other opportunities and then bringing that in without really raising the risk because they're partnering and they're not taking the risks themselves. This is really an interesting structure, but it does still come with some limitations. The main limitation is the internal contract templates. It took them a while to develop a template for those microenterprise connections and how those contracts are actually written and implemented. I would like to see copies of that. Hire on their website is promoting their management structure, and they see it as a gift to the world of telling the world more about how they do things, but they have not yet revealed what those contracts actually look like. And again, that is a key part of the effectiveness of how those microenterprises are linked together. Similarly to those contracts is the transfer pricing itself that's tied to leading targets. And I've gotten some information on this, but it's not full information. There's gaps in understanding how this actually operates, and that there is a multi-tier targeting system that is a mix of benchmarking to competition combined with goals and stretch targets. Based upon meeting those, the benefits that are generated within one particular microenterprise are actually shared with other microenterprises that are connected to it. This gets away from the infighting and the silo mentality of us versus them, and that if you were in one microenterprise and help another microenterprise, the benefits of the other enterprise would flow back to you. There's also an ability to renegotiate those contracts at will. So if the balance of value distribution between microenterprises changes, the contract can be redone. Now that's kind of innovative, but again, that takes a little bit more understanding of how that contracting process is done. There's also an ad hoc networking for the coordination. This is done through some purpose alignment, but around what they call platforms. Platforms would be industry oriented for the most part, in which case a number of microenterprises come together into a planning group that addresses common issues, common opportunities, and sorts through to some extent what might be called network weaving of how all the microenterprises are structured. So there is some purpose alignment in place, but it's through ad hoc networking or through the platforms themselves. Large network coordination across the organization really are strictly the ad hoc itself.